Tonight on America's Hope, we talk to one man who went from rags to riches, growing up in the Deep South only to become successful and then find that success took him to ruin. From ruin to redemption. America's Hope starts right now. Good evening, I'm Kelly Wright, and this is America's Hope. We're glad that you could join us this hour, and I always like to say on this program, wherever you are, we do sincerely hope that you're safe and well, taking care of yourself and your family, because you matter. You matter to your nation, you matter to the world, actually, because you just have that much value in your life and in your living. Tonight, we're going to talk about value and the risk of losing it all. But we're going to focus on how one man can go from ruin to redemption. This is quite a story. It's a rags to riches story, and then it's a story about ruin to redemption, meaning that sometimes when you gain it all and you have it all, well, you could also lose your soul. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? Well, joining us tonight is Judge Fred Mosely, and he is, as he describes himself, a servant of God in teaching ministry. He is a doctor of jurisprudence, a former trial attorney with the United States Justice Department. He's also a former prosecutor, a defense attorney, and a judge. Judge Mosely, thank you for joining us tonight. I want to get into your story. I want to start right there. And of course, that's the fact that you had a rags to riches story. How did you get all the way to the top of becoming a prosecutor and a judge from your humble beginnings?
Well, first of all, it was materialism that got me into the situation that caused me to go from riches to rags, but to build up to when I became successful according to the world standards. As you mentioned before, I was a federal prosecutor with the United States Justice Department, state prosecutor in the state of Ohio, the county of Cuyahoga, and a defense attorney, plaintiff's attorney, and just walked up the academic ladder as well as the professional ladder. And everything was going well. I decided to go into private practice for a while. And while in private practice, I was appointed to a judgeship. And I could maintain a limited private practice and be on the bench on occasion. There came a time I wanted to run for a full-time position on the bench, which I did. But Kelly, my situation was that, and it's similar to the situation of many, is that I wanted to maintain a materialistic lifestyle, which I could not afford on a judge's salary.
Well, let me ask you about that then. Let me just interrupt. I know where you're going with this, and I'd like to get to that point. But first, I'd like you to tell America what life was like for you as a child growing up.
Yes, thank you. Born in Birmingham, Alabama, Deep South, in 1944. My dad was a coal miner who finished the 8th grade. My mother did not work outside of the home. We went as far as the 8 and a half grade, I should say. And attended segregated schools in Birmingham. This was during the day of Governor George Wallace, Eugene Bull Connor, safety director. It was during the years of strict segregation in the state of Alabama. Everything was segregated. The schools were segregated, the parks were segregated, the amusement centers were segregated. And those of African American descent were confined to certain geographical areas where they could even live. There were no black police officers, no black firemen, and certainly no black officials otherwise in the state of Alabama during the 1940s, early 1950s. I attended public schools in Birmingham. And that was not only was that my first experience attending school, but as you have come to learn as we talk, is that I only attended segregated schools throughout my elementary career, high school career, college career, and until I attended law school was the first occasion I had to be in an integrated situation.
Hmm.
But while in school, I was basically a mediocre student up until the fifth grade. But Kelly, my pastor at that time, I was attending an African American Episcopal church with my family. My pastor at the time looked at me one day during Sunday service and he said to me, I see something in you. And that got my attention. It got my attention to the extent then I started to apply myself as a student. So finishing elementary school, then on to high school, wherein I was student body president, honor society, and a student athlete. Was the first in my family to attend a college. And I attended an all-black university in Wilberforce, Ohio, Wilberforce University. And certainly my family was very proud of me being the first in the family to be able to attend college. And in my wildest dreams or imaginations, I had no thought that I would one day be able to go to law school. And throughout all this, I should mention, I was in church. As a younger person, junior choir, junior usher board, and everything that was junior, I joined, and my parents caused me to have to join. But back to Wilberforce University, I was blessed to finish with honors from Wilberforce, and then on from Wilberforce, Ohio to Cleveland, Ohio. And certainly not any thought that I would ever be able to go to law school. But in Cleveland, fortunately, there was a night law school that I could attend while working as a claim adjuster for one of the major insurance companies in the nation. And as a result of that experience, then, of course, as you mentioned, I earned the Juris Doctor degree, and I stayed another year in law school and earned the Master of Laws degree. And at that time, I had said to myself, Kelly, that life is good, that it doesn't get too much better than this. I felt that I was on an upward trend towards professionalism and in the community.
Well, Judge,
So-
that's first of all, that is a stunning and an amazing story that shows how the American dream is still alive and active. Here's a black man growing up in the segregated South during the time of Governor Wallace, Bull Connors, the March on Selma, the Civil Rights struggle, and you're just there in the midst of it, and a pastor of your church sees something in you, and that's the spark that fueled the energy, the tenacity, and the wherewithal to become an attorney against all odds. Hi, everybody. I hope you're enjoying this episode so far of America's Hope. If you'd like to see it in its entirety, just click on the link below. Thanks for watching.